Welcome to Arena Suite, a podcast to help you train your horse using state-of-the-art philosophies and training techniques focused on positive reinforcement. We will explore how to incorporate the most beneficial methods to develop a truly wonderful, connected, and safe relationship with your equine companion. Okay. Here we are. Beautiful day. Upstate New York. It's like 75 degrees out.
I think my car said 81 when I got in.
Wow.
Yep.
So lucky. I think it's our last one though. But we're taking advantage of it, podcasting outside for you guys.
I'm ready for the cold, I'm not going to lie.
Well, I don't know. I'm not.
Just a little cooler, like 50s, 60s would be great.
Right. Maybe. Okay, so as we promised, we're here to go over what we worked on this week with Dandy. And kind of what we want to bring out here is one of the foundations that we talked about last time, targeting. Oh yeah, simple targeting. Touch your nose at the target, click and treat, and circle around, right? Rinse and repeat, as they say. But, you know, as the title of this is The Devil's in the Details, there's a lot to that targeting and anything you're training. And what Alexandra Kurland has coined the loopy training. It's a technique, strategy based on movement cycles, which is what we were doing, right? So
Yeah.
we wanted to apply this to leading. That's kind of how we got here, right?
Yep.
So yesterday, I think you were demoing what you had done, which wasn't working, right? You can tell a little bit about it.
It wasn't working.
Yeah, and why? You think, oh, she's following the target. She's going to stay over there, right?
Yeah, and it's ironic because I was like, you know, this is a behavior I was not worried about at all. Like, not concerned, like,
Right.
piece of cake. You know, I've taught so many other things to Sadie. And I'm like, why am I struggling with this? So Connie was like, all right, you know, I'm coming over for our standing appointment. What are we going to work on this week? I was like, we're working on leading. It's going so badly, and I don't know why. And she's like, all right, well, I'm coming over, and I'll show you, you know, show me what you're doing. And so I showed her, and I'm like, all right, here's what we're doing. And so it's not that she's not following the target, right? That's super simple. Here's the target. She's like, I know I have to follow this thing. The
Right.
problem was that she was like, I'm going to follow this thing, and I'm going to bull you over with my shoulder. And I'm going to plow my legs into your rear end. But I'm following the target. And so I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. And then, you know, that's when you were like, well, it's really sloppy.
Well, did I say that?
I
inferred it, maybe.
think you kind of said something like really polite, like, well, your criteria is not quite as high as it
Yes,
should be.
that I probably
And
said.
so I heard it's really sloppy. And that's valid. It was really sloppy. And so
But that's in human nature.
it's human nature.
We kind of lump, you know, oh, this is what we want. We think close enough.
I'm
right?
terrible at that.
Yeah.
And then also, like, and that's also how, you know, you'll hear people say, oh, clicker training will create really pushy horses. It's because it's a poor execution of it.
Yeah. And
so-
that's where they give up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, my horse is
And
running
they just
into me.
quit at that point.
And that's normal, right? So they
Yeah.
want the resource. We talked about that last time. And you just have to teach the right thing. We're not shaking sticks or wiggling lead ropes to get them to move away. We're using the target, but it has to be applied properly. So we
Yeah.
went through new training steps. And so what is it? It's what is it and where do they touch it, right?
Yep.
So what is it? It's the little ball on the end of the stick. And that's where she's touching it. So what we did was that loop, right? 10 times. So it has to be all the time, right? Otherwise you can't change criteria and make it harder, which it was, oh, now I'm going to walk and hold it here. And, you know, Dandy kept going, oh, how about the stick? How about this?
Yeah.
How about your shoulder?
I think we should back up to my target stick. So the target stick that I use is
Oh, you
one
should
of...
have brought it.
I should have brought it. She stepped on it this week. I need a new one. So it's one of those retractable pointers that a teacher would use on a whiteboard, and it's got like, you know, it's like 3 foot long. It's got a ball on the end. And so when I walk next to her with this target stick out, there's like 3 foot of margin. And she's like,
Yeah.
I could put my nose on the handle. I could put my nose on the ball. And I was giving it to her because I was like, oh, we're still working on it. And
right.
but
You're shaping it, right? You're shaping it.
but really
yeah.
she needed to be way past that. And I was still allowing that. And so I was creating the sloppy leading by giving it to her when it was too close. But I didn't realize that till Connie was like, well, duh, she's getting a treat. Why would she not go the other way?
Yeah, and that's why it's nice to have somebody watch you. But if you can't, you should video. Just like we're videoing this podcast, we video so many things. So we will post those. I promised. Last time I would. I still haven't, but we'll have, foundation ones from the last podcast attached to it, and then this one, the before and after.
Yeah.
Right, which. We did go to protective contact, right, other side of the fence, so that you could manage the space and not have to worry that you were going to get run over. And that really helped a lot. And then expanded into small sections. The next loop, right, is adding no fence and see if she can carry that through. Yeah. And she did once or twice. We did that,
She did. And the fence wasn't so much, it's called protected contact or protective contact.
Yeah.
And that is used when you have a brand new horse who could be maybe aggressive. Dandy's like 0% aggressive.
Yeah.
So even though we were using the fence, it was more of that visual, like, okay, the human is there and I'm here and we're supposed to walk together along it. So that really worked great.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's the way to do it, especially if you don't have any other place. Like sometimes you can do it behind a stall while you're first teaching targeting, but this worked nice. And also the fence post, was a good gauge, a measuring stick. Yeah, so it was like first, here's the stick, the ball was here, then it was a little bit further. So we could change it in tiny baby steps.
Yeah.
Which is what you should do when you're shaping it.
Yeah,
so.
It was really good. And regrettably, we didn't, she was like, should we film this? And I was like, let's wait till we have something worth filming because it's so bad. But then it like rapidly improved. And so we didn't have the phone set up, but we did set up right by one of the like security cameras. So, we do have some clips. It's not great. I think everyone should video everything. And I typically video every time I work. And I honestly post a lot of it, and there's people who are like, oh, you think you're some big TikTok star? And like, I don't care if you don't watch it. It's for me to review. Like, go have fun. Okay, we're doing our thing over here. Leave us alone. But
I think people, I like watching stuff.
Yeah, you could watch yourself and be like, oh, why am I standing like that? Why did I reach across like that? Like, what signal am I sending? And it's really helpful.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So, and I think that was really our major focus. Was there anything else that we wanted to share about this week's work that might help people?
It was a bad week. I didn't, I feel like I didn't do a good job of doing my homework and doing my practice. My little girls are they were settling in great, and then they've not been settling in so great. So a lot of my time has been spent like managing them and separating them and putting them back together and getting them on ulcer medications. And so I didn't do a good job this week, I don't feel like. But
you got to take care of them too. But I thought that, the session we had was really good.
That was literally the best day of the week.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's going to be beneficial for people to see before and after, and then, read up more. I'm going to attach actually to the podcast in the bottom where you like and subscribe below that.
Yeah.
I'm going to post the research paper that was written by Alex and Dr. Claire and St. Peter. So you can look for that and read it. And it has to do a lot of how behavior analysts for humans and behavior consultants and, behaviorists with animals really do a lot of the same work. Yeah. But anyway, you can read that.
Yeah.
And I'll probably post a couple other articles that people have written so that you can understand it a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But it really helps you have structure. So, I like the visual aspect of diagrams.
Yeah.
So you can actually, like when I was doing today with Josie out here in the arena, I was like, it was a visual track that I was kind of going through in my mind. I was doing a lot of other behaviors in there, but same there. We had a pattern we were following and then looking for certain things in that.
And I think it would be helpful too to share the little diagram that, my homework board that I drew it
Oh,
out.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
said, here's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to work on this week, and I'm going to have it down next week. Because there might be people going through the same thing with their
Right.
horse, and it's really easy. And I'm so bad at it. It's really easy to be like, oh, well, we did really great on this 15-foot stretch of fence, and I'm ready to go into the middle of the field and try to replicate it. And like, you missed the 15 steps in between. So,
Yeah,
maybe
right.
showing them, hey, this is what we did this week. Here's what we're going to work on this week. And maybe someone else can just work through it, to it.
Right.
Work through it too.
Yeah, and you can pick your number, like my arbitrary 10. You have to have 10
let's talk about
clean
that.
loops, So you can do 3, 5, whatever. But to me, and everything, even if I'm training a dog to do something, I want people to make sure they can count to 10 and do it 10 times before it becomes a cue or something that you want to put on cue. But so it just gives you structure, and it's not too difficult. Like, you're not taking data.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I do things like that. But you're really just giving yourself something to follow, and then know what your next step is, so that you don't get frustrated. Because if you don't know what you're doing, they don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think 10 is a good number. Like, when she came to the fence and she was like, all right, work on putting the ball this far past the fence. And I'm like, I did it a couple times. And I'm like, all right, how many times do I do this? She was like, 10. I was like, 10? I've been doing 3. Like, I don't know where I got 3.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't matter. I mean,
no, I think it
yeah.
does. I don't think 3 was enough.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I was
I
doing,
see what you're saying.
yeah, I think I
Yep.
was doing 3, and I was like, okay, she did it 3 times. She knows it. But she was like, I've only done this 3 times. I don't really know if that was right.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I was doing it enough before moving on. And I think 10's a great number. I think wherever 3 came from, it should be replaced with 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So we'll share some clips from the week. And I mean, she made good progress in other areas. We're doing great on the hoof handling, great on the mounting block, not so hot on the halter. But we'll get there. We'll get there with all these things. She's doing really good with her station. That's another thing that, I'm going to go on a rabbit hole here for a second. So
Sure.
the other thing that we were struggling with was, I was having this issue where I would, finish working with Danny, and I'm like, okay, I'm all done, goodbye. Did the jackpot on the ground, did, behavior with a treat, not ending abruptly, giving a treat, like trying to signal, hey, we're done and I'm leaving, but you didn't do anything wrong. And she was really frustrated. She kept doing this like ear pin chase thing. And so I was like, we were talking about it, and we were like, well, try to, do the jackpot, make sure you're not leaving on a bad note, try to train toward the fence as you leave. And then someone in one of my groups was like, hey, make sure you're taking her out of the training area and saying goodbye there. And so I never even thought of that. So here we have the arena, right? So I would always bring my horse down. We'd go into the arena. We would train. I would stick her back out, give her her treat, and say goodbye.
Yep.
At my place, we're just so new, and we're just not even settled in. It's just so interim. I didn't even think about it, that I'm just taking stuff into her field and training her there, and then sometimes even leaving it set up, and then me leaving, and then she's like, why did you leave my target ball here and you're gone? Like, I would see the security camera and she'd be targeting her ball, or she'd be lining up to the block, and I'm not even at the farm. And so, like, I was like, wow, that's really stupid of me. That was like, she's out here trying to do the right thing, and no wonder she gets frustrated. So
or sometimes they say that would make the behavior stronger because she's not always getting reinforced. But I'm sure someday, maybe she'll associate it with a person being there. Although Josie stands on her mats and nobody's out there, so and she does that well. So I don't know. It could be okay.
It could be, but I think I'm going to practice like a routine. Okay, we're leaving the training area. Just trying to send her a clear signal.
Yeah,
hey, we're done with training.
Oh, that's definitely a good idea.
And don't be so frustrated, because I'll be back and we'll do it again, and then. I maybe wasn't being as clear in the things that I should have been being clear with.
Yeah.
I was being sloppy.
Well,
so yeah.
Things are better.
Things
That's
are better.
important.
And they'll just get better every day. You know?
So I guess we'll wrap it up for now.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're trying to do these weekly and doing our best with that. So far so good, but we've only had
Been
2
2 days.
But okay.
Yeah.
So
we'll be back with one more from next week, and then
I will have all those videos
and we'll
out.
get this video up.
in this one and the one, all these other ones we're talking about that we haven't shown anybody yet. But.
Yeah, and if you're my friend on TikTok, you've seen them, and so
Oh,
you know
okay.
where to find us, and you know how to find the hashtag. But if you need anything, reach out to Connie on YouTube and
Right.
ask the questions and get the help.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.